Hello, my darlings, and welcome to another little broadcast. Today we are going into the variant dungeon again, and we'll see where we go from there. Yeah, let's have fun. Let's see what we can get. I have like 5 more endings to find, and let's go. I believe we did 4 on the right. I think we did 2 on the left, so we got 2 more on the left, so it should be done. The portal, if you would, good sir. Seal of shadow, reveal thy path. Excellent. Let us be about it. The Grand Gate. What lies beyond, I wonder? Demons already. I spy a most promising pagoda. Let us make it our destination. Is there no end to this? Little wonder the mount was sealed. No, my climbing attire is soaked. What curious creatures, they must be involved by these terrible torrents. Interesting. It was wind last time. This time it's rain. I wonder what makes it different. Mountain weather is wont to change on a whim, but does not put nature's winds at work here. Looks like we arrived soon as judging by her outside. Seems that already taken that portion of it. She must be full of a treasure. I promise him to lead both unfortunate paths. Shadow was my strength. Thanks to 1,000 petals that into the single person. Oh, this is new. I've not seen this one before. Thankfully, kindly the rains have ceased. We should make for shelter ere another storm passes through. I've now summoned the Chukarin minion. And I got an nectar friends string as well. Nice. If I had to wager a guess, these might be temple stores. Rather spacious, aren't they? Oh dear, they've raided the place. Treasure, cursed or no, I imagine I would abide within these walls. But where? Under the auspices of two auspices, as it were, curious. I believe that's right. I think that's what I did last time. I might have known Suzaku and Stereo were the guardians of this gateway, so in fairness, one usually needs to grapple with one at a time. All these walls were a dead end, how odd. More to this room. What is it that I'm missing in here? Let's head back inside quickly. That one died quick. Or something. somewhere along the lines, because I think I'm going to get the same result as I got last time. Corporate mechanisms, we have an anti-cannon and Nokia on our hands. That's really good from what is blood. Mark where the armor readies its blade, so it has quite a reach, can just strike whatever it has. And then it reaches, didn't get it back to her. There we go. Focus of perhaps I should be right here. A reasonably safe distance. During the time. I may not have strength enough. It's bad people get fixed about that. I really like switching up the mechanics. get away. For the ages, life's net and circumstances like this, it is always a pleasure to witness Bushido at work. I had guessed the passage we traversed would lead to the store's most valuable contents. Lo and behold. Such exceptional relics are a rarity indeed, this armour not least of all. The spirit that enlivened it may have been one of the Tsukigami of Rumor. In an ideal world, I would not hesitate to bring home every last blade the Mononoke touched. Alas, my Falchion can only bear so much weight. This calls for serious consideration. Please leave me to have my thoughts for a moment. What's that? A mysterious stone from the Isles of Shrewsbury. What's that? Oh, nice! That's so cool. Probably the crafting. myself. Huh. Only 1,000. Oh yeah. Small lantern ghost found in Rokan was born when a child's well-off people lantern came to harbour a spirit. Possessed of a friendly nature, they happily follows its master everywhere rather than misleading hapless souls in the dark, because it's kinder wont to do. Oh, look at it! You are the light that guides us, comrade. As such, I would have you prepare the lamps we use for night patrol. Oh, look at it. Look at it. So cute. And here's a place I can put this over here. Doesn't seem to do much. Oh, I did unlock another one. There should be one more over here, and I'm guessing that I'll get it by just not interacting with the sword. I don't know what I did differently to get the other one. Maybe it was just killing the enemies in a certain order. The Grand Gate, what lies beyond, I wonder? Demons already. Over here, or is it going to be windy? I spy him was promising pagoda. Let's make it our destination. This is no ordinary windstorm. This churning spirits, servants of the wind in there. I think this is Panda. Do 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 do. These winds could blow a man away, and will if we do not tread carefully. Who's that book on this thing? We'll be alive sooner. The giant square defeat. Out of the wind. So it's going to be in because it's spring, Bessie. Winter blossom. You can watch the lion have his blood blossoms. Wait, that was not right. Since the Kami, the winds have ceased, we should make for sure so that air we're blown back to the foot of the mountain. I finish my tea. Yeah, I finished my tea. By the way, I guess these represent the stores. Rather spacious, aren't they? Oh no, they've been raided! Treasure cursed or no, I imagine I would abide within these walls, but where? Into the auspices of 2 auspices were curious. So the glass serves as a magic doorknob of sorts. The monks certainly were inventive. You two are a connoisseur of forest and maps, I trust. Terribly charming. How the 4 lords shown their rules in the cardinal directions. Gods, they're everywhere. Have at them. Very suspicious. The blade post starts with unessential visited. Oh, look at the blade actually. I'm too small to see inside. No. That looks so cool. Come on, Hancock, let's go. What's in here? Oh, nothing. Praise me, and I shall grant you an honourable death. I've seen the clock at my kitchen, and it's spirit climbing my milky on my head. I think he's got the ominous sword in his hand as well. What's it behind there? To the side of him. Elita, get your second straight. That's the armor is, but I've got a square beach, I can strike everywhere. Elita, stop it. Get it right. It doesn't matter. Love us, how sorry. Have a care, look at up here at the surface. We have strength in numbers, but worry not if you cannot beat them twice in this way. If you can dodge a soul, you can dodge a power. I once did the shaking hands with a giant only, but not like this. What's going on here? Yeah, but you're in front. Found the sky. Let's go over here. And then over here. And go behind you. And then in front of you. Yeah, seems good. Do it. And to the left of you. In front of you. And to the right. Giant Amazons again. I was doomed to shoot these giant ones, but not like this. Well done, Elita. Even the fiercest Moonlight is no match for you. It's difficult to appreciate while under the stress of slicing and dicing, but the monks amassed a truly impressive collection of blades here. To say not of our most inspired armour. Perhaps the soul of the warrior who once fought yet lingered, reaching his chance to take the battlefield once more. Or perhaps this sword was a treasure with a life of its own. A vexing conundrum. What to bring back to Draconia, that is. I don't suppose you've space in your bag. I always have space in my bag. Let's see. Oh, it's just like 3 paths left now. And they would all be the middle paths because I've done 4 on the left, 4 on the right, so that leaves 3 in the middle left to do. Nice little drink. Let's do it. Let's do it. Do 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 do. Do do do. Three paths to be unsealed at our behest. Whither shall we wander? The only route that's left. Right to church, of course. No, we've already been down there, darling. Oh. Interested in a different path, I shall place my trust in your intuition. The portal, if you would, good sir. Seal of shadow, reveal thy path. Excellent, let us be aboard it. Do do do, do 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 do. Do 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 do. How pleasingly picturesque. Had to be no devious, I say. I would suggest a more leisurely stroll. I shall leave martial matters to you. I shudder to think of the chaos those creatures find their way to civilization. I spy a structure in the distance. Tiny little one bar. Oh my god, they're like that baby. I suppose we're obliged to take the scenic route. So many horrors, so little time. What ahead is Shoujo Temple, home to Gora and his accursed Toad collection. Probably time for typical accusation, but the poor pilgrimage must wait for another day. For now, treasure awaits, as do the monk and his minions, of course. Do you have care? Let's not pull the rope this time. A shinobi, and out in the open at that. The chopping mine, I see. You cannot have it. Would it be about to see more judging by our supernatural size? Humans have already taken that full bill. She must be on the spiral treasure, promising lead towards an unfortunate quest. Trees up here, take to the sky! Out of the wind blossom. The dance of 1,000 petals begins with a single blossom. Wave of flowers bend to my will. Spring has come. Let me teach you. Let them be patient. Use the first pieces. It's time for the 1,000 petals against this crazy darkness. Yes, because the enchanted keep a watchful eye on how the fly is. I got distracted. Sophia, sit this down. Alright, it's a finish lesson. Do. The first 1,000 petals begins with a single blossom. The 1,000 petals begins with a single blossom. Yeah, we got it. Sweet. Hey, there we go. Splendid as these statues are, they appear lacking in the accursed aspect. Our quarry must lie further in. Though the temple's isolation is a blessing for the small folk, I imagine it made the monks' experience all the more harrowing. Aha! Getting a little bit extra here. Looks like there's an extra room over here as well. Elita's here, I hide no here, go right. Nice little place though. Breathtaking. The majestic tiger at the peaks might be That was not an invitation. Your assistance, please, Elita. I feared that would be the end of me. A precarious pile of crates and mountain unto itself. News. It's like a little path. Oh my god, it's a jumping puzzle. By the cammy, Elita, how did you get up there? Adventurers under climbing. I just did a day on Kugami Tower, but perhaps that's a tale for another time. That sounded promising. If you suddenly hear my winsome wailing, you'd best come running. Aha, a secret stairwell. How very convenient. Put that way with a bit more light. There's a lantern here. But see if I can make it red like that. Oh, damn, there's another one in there. So that's only two. Would there be a third one? There's a lantern there. There's a lantern there. There'd be one over here. And those would be where the wall is. Where would the third one be? The one on the way up the secret on the stairway itself. Oh, there we go. There's one down here. Wait, there's like 3, 4. How many of these lanterns are there? Because I've got to light the right ones. I'm not sure which ones are the right ones. That's a story for another time. Maybe it'll tell me in the notes. Probably the 2 up here at least. Maybe the one at the foot of the stairs. These treasures are all mine, all mine. You I'm not sure they're business, do you? The head monk I take it, and they're not formed of hidden as pro activities. Where are the people going to be able to use engine power? Change the beautiful eyes of my fury. Drunk with power, feeling power due to the influence of spirit. Ha! This is cool. Curses within our weekends. Feed, stop buying thy spirits form with these words. Be reborn. jet stand. Reincarnation. Admirables, honestly, sir. Few would be so keen to face down a rat of that size. To say naught of his unusual sousing, when the unholy draught touched his lips, I fear his fury would consume the entire temple. I should like to know precisely what baleful influence was brought upon the drink, but not enough to test it myself. Nay, I must bring back a less volatile outpart of her endeavours. The living lanterns, Chuchi, as the Hennigans say, were particularly fascinating, were they not? Now that they return to the original form, I may safely seek to learn more of the spirits once they harboured. Let us add them to my collection forthwith. fortune you seek, know that our light glows brightest within twilight's reach, and 'tis the cameo fire the celebration entreats. Oh, that doesn't help any. Three paths to be unsealed at our behest. Whither shall we wander? Interested in a different path, I shall place my trust in your intuition. The door, my good man. Yes, of course. Open wide, gate of the abyss. Whoosh. Excellent, let us be about it. How pleasingly picturesque. Had we no demons to say, I would suggest a more leisurely stroll. I shall leave the martial matters to you. I shudder to think of the chaos should those creatures find their way to civilization. Just like that. To see good. Woohoo! Off we go! The Shooter's Temple, home to Gorain's accursed collection. I think I'm gonna take a brief look at this one. If only we had time for other typical ablutions, but the pilgrimage must wait for another day. For now, treasure awaits, as do the monk and his minions, of course. Do have care. I admit I was equally tempted to pull the rope, so part of me wishes you hadn't. It'll be mine, mine, you cannot have it. But we rise too much. And doesn't rise too much size, and to speak in the poor girl. She's in solid treasure, anything rude but unfortunate. The thousand petals begins with a single blossom. Wayward flowers, bend to my will. Spring has come. Both dear friends, and the flower. I like to go first. Yeah, the fluff. I should like to pat the fluffy flowers. The world change up. Take them to the master. Come to the fire blossom. Into a thousand into a single blossom. Blossoms must be enchanted. Keep a watchful eye on how they flow. Fire will be up. Thank you. Go go! Yeah, the fluff. statues keep silent vigil in their master's absence, but they are not the treasures we seek. Onward. The temple stretches on even further. Step lively, Elita, we've plenty to explore. Even the inner sanctum is plagued with demons. If any who remain did survive, doing nothing short of a miracle. Hey, I got one of those recently. Breathtaking. Just so majestic tiger depicts me empty screen. That was not an invitation, your assistant's playful. I don't know about the one upstairs, but 3 of these are under yellow barriers. I feared that would be the end of me. A precarious pile creates a mountain unto itself. Oh, come here, Elita. How did you get up there? I can't go that way anymore. We've got to try and figure out which ones to set in place, I think. Adventures in their climbing. I just did a day on Glencoe, but perhaps that's a tale for another day. I do not know what I'm doing. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lanterns. 6 lanterns in total. Only 3 of them will do something special. I do not know which 3. That sounded promising. If you suddenly hear my winsome wailing, you'd best come running. Aha, a secret stairwell. How very convenient. Would it be a bit more light? Across the hall there's an eerie light. Curious, this lantern shines differently from the rest. Mononoke's influence, perhaps? No, some other mechanism. What if I... Ooh! Ooh! Allow yourself to be transported. Sure, foresight. Ooh, this is someplace new altogether. It's over here. I need to explore. What's going on? Lesson learned, Hancock. Do not prod eerily grown objects. In any case, the monks went to great pains to conceal this path. What could have warranted such secrecy? This is so cool. So Kugami and her, holy, oh, that looks awesome! Thousand paths, and yours ends here. Candy for friends, we could suffocate under this wicked thing. Fill your lungs. I'd wager the secret gun is the pipe itself. It's probably a mere illusion. Let me think first. Smoke and mirrors through everything and nothing. First and final breath. Get this going. Choking their brains. A brilliant display. With the demonic smoke dispelled, we may breathe easy once more. Only an entity of great power could transform its surroundings so dramatically. You do well to outmaneuver it. See all the pretty flowers blossoming. Yeah, it's a nice place. Now, I spied something resting within the shrine earlier. Oh ho ho, as I predicted! I have seen depictions of this pipe before. There can be no doubt it can be an age-old treasure. Gorai must have known that the fierce Tsukugami slumbered within it. Thus he stores it apart from the sanctity of the temple, although it was too strong to be consigned to such ignominy, and in his neglect, the power only grew until it was strong enough to enshroud the mountain entire. Now that the Lord among Demons is slain, we can assume that peace shall return to the region. We must report the good news to Mr. Tsubaki post-haste. I and my growing collection should have not fared half so well without you here. I am in your debt. Right, just one last one to do. I need to stretch my legs a bit. Might as well get this last one out of the way. And then I can read all the entries properly. And I vanish. I should not be vanishing. Come back, Elita. 3 paths to be unsealed at our behest. Whither shall we wander? I'll move a bit closer, because... There we go, my darlings. No, we want this path. We still don't have something unlocked here. The portal, if you would, good sir. seal of shadow reveal thy path. Excellent. Let us be about it. How pleasing and picturesque. Having no demons to slay, I would suggest a more leisurely stroll. I shall leave the martial matters to you. I think I would find the most exciting here. I'm not sure if that's the right path or when the ones at the left path. I shudder to think of the chaos should those creatures find their way to civilization. I spy a structure in the distance. I suppose we're obliged to take this some food. Off we go. Do 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 do. Oh, there's a hurry. I don't think what we do now. At the head of the Shoujo Temple, home to Goran's accursed collection. If only we had time for the typical ablutions, but the poor pilgrimage must wait for the hood. For now, treasure waits, as do the monk and his minions, of course. Do have care. Toggles. I admit I was equally tempted to pull that rope, so part of me wishes you hadn't. I believe it just depends on whether you get the burgers or not. You get the burgers, you get the hope you don't, if you do. If you don't, you will get it. She's gonna pull our treasure. Let's get the food and the treasure. Come forth, my dear friends, and devour my enemies. Turtle Squad unite! Fluffy puddles, go! I should like that's a big head. I don't know if change much to the great length. Blossom beams, go! Blossoms are enchanted to watch fly high to I get seduced by the darkness. Let's just keep silent vigil in the Master's absence, but they are not the treasures we seek. Onward! Let us go defeat a tiger. The inner sanctum is plagued with demons. If any who remains still is alive, it could be nothing short of a miracle. Come on, Tigger me Tigger. Majestic tiger! Go! Boom! So I got Serio and Suzaku. We got Rocky here. We are missing the turtle. Bring me to my turtle! Where's the turtle? Wait, look at the dragon, look at the bee, look at the tiger, we don't have the dragon. I mean the turtle. I feared that'd be the end of me. A precarious pile of crates and mountain unto itself. How did I miss that the first time? The temple is the pinnacle of picturesque. Hello, my little darlings. I see you, Elita. Mortals. Can still got the living. Boom. Okay. No, spare me, I beg of you. I repent, I repent. Spare me, and you shall have safe passage. Give me a moment to think. How dare you! How dare you! Oh wow, that's quite weak. A sorry attempt at an ambush if you ask me, but let's continue on. So he won't appear in the final battle now. Oh my, you shall not sully their brilliance. The head monk I'm very informed of taking this proclivities. It's morphin' time! Where did I feel like now again? It's time with power. Morphing time! Thunderclaws are on the loose. I thought as much as scary from those. Humble hammer. Look at the ball. Shrink before my might. I can shrink! More hammers. Because I hit multiple times. Make me tell you. That's a fun thing. That's a tiny one. You're gonna die before you make me tiny again. I need to sleep. Until the demon is slain. His avarice, curious tools, your skill carried the day. One wonders what artifacts he might have unveiled, had you waited a touch longer to deal the killing blow. There's not to be done about it now. Not to be able to take a lesson of his life to heart, perhaps. Never shirk the proper appraisal of items with dubious histories. Bearing these in mind, I shall help myself to that hammer of his. I want it. It was an honor and a privilege to accompany you, Elita. Shall I begin our preparations for our journey back? Give me the hammer, please. I need it. Please. Pretty please. There it is. Please. Please. Just hit me on the head with it. You can carry me back in your pocket. Shush, shush. Achievements. Unlock all exorcism records and broken. Urabura Chochin whistle, a handcrafted carved whistle that when played emits an eerie tone that beckons Babuju Chojin to your side. Contrary to expectation, the lantern ghost did not care to haunt people and was content to simply wander Mount Brocon. When it saw you similarly wandering, it took you for a kindred spirit and decided to follow you wherever the wind should blow. Could they be evil spirits lying in wait for hapless treasure seekers? Let's see. DNC log. This is like the last one that we got. Right, okay, I'll just read all these. Long ago, in a remote village, there lived a devout young woman. Though her fields were barren and her rice stores lay empty, she honoured the kami at every opportunity, decorating their shrines with what meagre offerings she could, until one fateful evening, a divine being appeared to her in a dream. She awoke the next morning to find a wooden hammer next to her pillow. In offering thanks to the kami that day, she swung her newfound hammer, and where it fell, rice gushed forth from the ground like water. The gods had saved this woman from hunger and granted her endless wealth, but as time passed, she forgot her humble origins. She grew complacent in her prayers and lost herself in excess. Eventually, rumours of her extravagance spread across the land and reached the ears of a wicked Oni. He stole the hammer for his own selfish purposes, prying the divine gift from the woman's cold, dead fingers. As a merchant, my first thought upon hearing this tale was of Gil, though as one does not require divine intervention to make a profit, I am reminded of my first encounter with Chairman Laurelito in the back streets of Oda. I hear tell that you are not entirely bereft of wit, he said, placing a heavy sack of coin before me. Take this Gil and double it. I shall return in one day. I knew very well who I was dealing with. I turned that profit with pride. Handed him 2 very heavy sacks of Gil the next day, and found my fortune, as it were. Had I squandered that coin as the young woman did her own gift, I would have been dogged by much worse than demons, lost to avarice. Oh. Once upon a time, there lived a brilliant Omnioji. His enchantments were famed far and wide. Yet the man was cursed with poor memory, and often misplaced the tools he had imbued with such awesome power. Well aware of his foibles, the Omnioji resolved never to let his pieces escape him again, and wrought enchanted strong boxes to safely store them. The strategy was put to the test when one evening a thief attempted to steal his most valuable tools away, boxes and all. Alas, though the vessels faithfully returned to Onmyoji's side, the poor man was distraught to discover that none of the works within had done the same. Tokimori tells me that several such strong boxes were once present at Shoujo Temple. Their magics inhibited the spiritual powers of objects sealed within, objects including a bloodthirsty sword and a Dogu figurine. I myself managed to claim the box with the aforementioned sword, though the Dogu must have been lost in the chaos that claimed the mountain. While bloodthirsty sword rather speaks for itself, I was curious as to why simply a clay figurine should be sealed away. It transpires that the Dogu too is a powerful tool, once used to ensure the temple's sacred teas flourish, through a simple ritual of bowing before a small shrine and placing the Dogu on the altar within. The monks could coax it into enlivening the surrounding greenery. Similarly, disregard for its care may prompt the Dogu to wreak havoc on its environments, in which case it may be best to enshrine any Dogu we encounter. The Crimson Sword. Long ago, in the days when war and strife plagued Hinagashi, there lived a man who built his legacy upon the mounting of many corpses. Fiercer than a mad tiger, Moko the Restless emerged victorious from every skirmish. But his might would be his undoing. Fearing that the warrior would rebel against him, Moko's liege lord ordered him slain in the dead of night. The deed was carried out with Moko's own blade, which, having cleanly severed its master's head, soon began to burn red. None could say whether the crimson aura was begat by the warrior's lingering fury or the ire of his victims, but it resisted all efforts to remove it. In a last desperate attempt to purify the sword, the Lord's servants carried it to a sacred peak and plunged it into the holy waters, only for the weapon to devour the font's spiritual energies. From that moment on, any soul who attempted to wield the blade was consumed by murderous rage. Tokimori claimed that the holy waters in the tale might be found on Mount Rocken itself, where a lake of particular spiritual power lies concealed. A small shrine allegedly graces its banks, and I cannot help but wonder if treasures hide within. Unfortunately, the path is a closely guarded secret known only to the highest-ranking monks, so we are left to fumble in the dark. Moko was a warrior of peerless skill. Tale of Denman. A boon to his allies and a scourge upon his enemies. After his death, his armour was returned to his kin, who would preserve it as a treasured heirloom for generations to come, until one fateful morn, as the sun bathed the eastern skies in gold, Moko's descendants rose to find the armour not in the storehouse where it had been secured, but on the prominent display in the gardens, stained black with cooling blood. Next to it lay the corpse of a man, a would-be thief struck down by a righteous spirit. Most were quick to believe. The family, however, was less than certain. Who was to say when Moko might rise to sate his bloodlust? Thus, though it pained them to do so, they placed the armour in the care of Shoujo Temple, hoping that its hallowed halls would bring the restless general some semblance of peace. The far eastern folklore speaks of myriad kami, and of the spirits to be found in all things. One may assume this concept arose from the countless strange creatures found on our star, from the void sent to aspaces and Solkin golems to elemental sprites. Nature's capacity for oddity is boundless. Was Moko's armour then an unusual form of unknown entity? Or did it truly play host to the soul of a man who once wore it? Whatever the case, we can be certain that its exposure to Mount Broken's ether only emboldened and enlarged it. I find it myself thankful that we did not share in the alleged thief's fate. Forging a legacy. Though Hinagashi has its fair share of celebrated artisans, few tales stoke the flames of a journeyman's ambition like that of Nanakusa, whose blades, in the image of the Four Lords, saw him rise from the humble village blacksmith to renowned forge master, having been on the business end of the swords representing Suzaku and Seiryu during her confrontation with Moko the Restless. To their fine and fearsome quality I can attest, though I have not yet had the pleasure of an introduction to the Byaku-inspired Hokute. It in particular is oft spoken as a weapon to rival one of the greatest the star has to offer, the swell. Following his rise to prominence, Nanasuka established a forge near Mount Rokon. According to Mistress Tsubaki, many an aspiring smith followed in his footsteps, and northeastern Shishu has become something of a haven for these masters of forge and flame. Naturally, they revere the kami of fire and celebrate their god by way of various spectacular matsuri. In the most prominent of these, its name roughly translating to the Festival of Three Lanterns, local blacksmiths seem to imbue the work of the past, present and future with the fire kami's power, through lighting a trio of specially crafted lanterns. Of course, this temporal symbolism is only one aspect of the number three's significance to the Far Eastern tradition at large. The Luthier and the Songstress. Once upon a time there lived a nameless luthier who poured his heart and soul into building a beautiful biwa. His efforts were not in vain, for the biwa's craftsmanship was immaculate, so much so that he found he could not bear to see it in the hands of a common bard. Season upon season passed as he searched for a soul befitting the biwa's brilliance. It was not until the luthier's twilight years that a worthy songstress at last entered his workshop. The young woman played a song for him, as breathtaking as the autumn moon, and he gladly entrusted her with his life's work. Her ephemeral ballads would capture hearts across Hinagashi, until the eve that the luthier's tale came to an end. Neither she nor the biwa have been seen since, leaving her audience to wonder if she was the Tsukumogami of the biwa all along. I have come to learn that the Tsukugami can take many forms. Depending on how they manifest, they might bestow 1,000 blessings or 1,000 curses upon the world. If a Tsukumogami is rumoured to reside within a prized vessel, its value rises exponentially, but only should it be benevolent as the songstress in our tale. Were a treasure possessed of a spirit more malevolent, it would do well to exercise it ere putting it to market. That's the one I read earlier. Beyond the lantern's light, it was a moonless and cloudy night. A small patrol of samurai was treading a shaded path when, in the distance, they sighted the warm glow of a lantern. Knowing no honest man would be skulking about at this hour, they approached with caution, to find no man at all but a single lantern lying lonely and unattended. With some thought of preventing a fire, one of the samurai reached down to claim it. In an instant, the samurai were surrounded. A crowd of cold, otherworldly flames hovered just out of arm's reach, as if taunting. Fiendish laughter echoed in the distance, then closer yet, a mere moment later. The flames disappeared as though nothing had ever transpired. Darkness enveloped the path once again. There are few in Hinagashi who have not heard tales of the Bakachochin. Though these are haunting lanterns, typically seek only to play tricks on those who wander too close. The ones we encountered on Mount Rokon clearly had a mind to give chase, according to Tokomori. Generations of monks at Shoujo Temple carried a lantern of identical appearance to their nightly strolls, and so perhaps Baki Chojin sought merely to protect their master's home, albeit in a unique way. The lantern now in my possession bears the following words in the Eastern calligraphy. If fortune you seek, know that our light grows brightest within twilight's reach, and 'tis the kami of fire this celebration entreats. I know not precisely what this poem calls upon its reader to do, but its words occupy my thoughts nonetheless. The common man's courage. Long ago in a small village in the shadow of Mount Rokon there lived a young man. Few were as diligent at harvest time as he, and none so quick to leap into action as the fateful day that screams rang across the fields. Swallowing his fear, he followed the sound, to find his neighbours beset by a beast of terrible countenance, its unnatural form proving it the very man-eaten monster that had terrorized the people of Shishu for moons. And so, knowing lives would be lost to a moment's hesitation, the young man lobbed his pitchfork at the creature's exposed belly. It turned tail and ran for the cover of the mountain, howling in pain. Ever since, the village has held a yearly event dedicated to tossing their tools in bundles of straw, in a form of ritual that doubles to useful practice. In the event that the kami are slow to respond to future incidents. Imagine my surprise when, having recovered the Fork of Legend, I discovered the famed swordsmith Nanakusa's mark upon it. 2 histories for the price of 1. I suppose all artisans must pay their dues. It must be humble pitchforks or those kettles that Rowena has such a monopoly on. But the contrast between this tool and Nanakusa's more whimsical works is striking. One would never guess that its maker would go to build Shishu's most expansive smithy, guarded in each cardinal direction by statues of the 4 lords. Sound of the Stone. Given their function as spiritual bulwark against the earthquakes that plague Hinagashi, stones of protection are far from unique to Mount Rokon. One tale connected to them, however, certainly reflects its unusual history. Legend has it that a warrior of some renown once visited the mountain as a pilgrim. During his soul-cleansing climb up the slopes, he put his hands together to pray at a stone of protection. In that very moment, a twisted beast leapt up from the shadows. It was injured, a pitchfork protruding from its belly, but regardless of circumstance, the warrior could hardly ignore its attempts to tear his head from his body. He plunged his trusty blade into the creature, which thrust violently in response, colliding with a nearby stone. Ominous pearls resounded in the earth below. In alarm, the warrior lost hold of his weapon, while the beast escaped into the foliage and out of sight. Fearing an earthquake was imminent indeed, he carefully wiped the beast's blood from the stone, and all was silent once more. There are several variants of this legend. In one, the warrior slays the beast, while another insists at the creature's blood-curdling cry that sent the earth rumbling. Still, other tales present natural disasters themselves as divine, or at least preternatural entities. All contain at least a grain of truth, for the fears of a population constantly under threat by events outside its control are very real. If one theory out of the studium is to be believed, the stone's protective power may also be more than superstition. The gist, I recall, is that stones of protection are a form of magical focus, not dissimilar to neoliths, and thus can stabilize ethereal currents when placed at confluences. Alas, I remember naught of the finer details, beyond their being rather dull. Neoliths as a siege weapon? The Seal of Silence. Ascetics have long availed themselves of Mount Rokon's solitude to train mind and spirit, and this day was no different. The breeze was still, the trees silent, and the monk of concern to our tale was deep in peaceful meditation, where he heard the rustling of grass. Rousing from his contemplations, he opened his eyes to see who had business of such import as to interrupt his tranquillity, and came face to face instead with a twisted priest. If its form left any doubt to its identity, the weapons lodged in its flesh confirmed that this was Shishio, king among Niue, and terror to the small folk. Though the thought of ending a life much less than that of a creature struggling, despite deep wounds, to survive, was abhorrent, so too was the thought of letting this devourer of men go free. He readied his holy staff, and struck at the Mononoke. The battle was a fierce one, but the monk had the upper hand. To draw the conflict to a close, he struck his staff into Shisho, turning it into stone. He would go on to found Shoujo Temple, that a watch might be kept over the now silent Mononoke, and its seal remain unbroken evermore, or so the legends say. Holy staves such as the monk wielded are quite unlike those of Western mages. Not only do they hold the particular power to purge fell magics via sound, their use as physical weapons goes far beyond unsophisticated bludgeoning. Though I sadly lack the skill to make use of such awesome power, I find myself considering more mundane applications. In climbing Mount Rocken, even well-trained ascetics surely find themselves in need of additional support from time to time, should we need to scale the peak once again, or should an inconvenient wall or pile of boxes stand in our way. I shall be perfectly equipped for the challenge. Seasons of the Fleeting. Long ago and far away, an Onmyoji found himself bereft of his beloved wife. Years upon years passed, and the cherry tree they planted to celebrate their union bearing fewer blossoms every spring. Yet still, the grief of her passing remained fresh. Though left with little hope for himself, the Onmyoji prayed the tree at least might recover. To his great surprise, these prayers were answered by his wife herself, for in her life she too had been an Onmyoji, and had left behind a finely made dogu. At his plea, it began to shine with the power of life itself, reviving the tree's withered boughs in an instant. Understanding now their love was everlasting, no matter how fleeting their time together, the Onmyoji too was filled with newfound vigour, and happily devoted himself to caring for the resplendent cherry tree for the rest of his days. How painful and how beautiful that life should be so imperial. Upon our return from Mount Rocken, I could not help but inquire with Tsubaki as to the nature of our mistress Yozakura, who we encountered under such inauspicious circumstances. It seemed she was heir to the Hanagakure style of ninjutsu, thus her way with flowers, and it was in service to Lord Uzumibubi at the time of her death. Tokimori added that she had been aiding in the evacuation of those trapped at Shoujo Temple, and lost her life to a Mononoke while pulling a child to safety. Yeah, so that would be the ninja that we encounter at the halfway point. Yozakura. The Ogiseru's fate. The great Kisaru is rumoured to bring similarly great fortune or great calamity to its owner, but I have seen no sign of it possessing such a capacity for either thus far. I can but presume that my predecessors sought to credit their rituals and tribulations to a single simple cause in a complex and uncertain world. Still, between the power invested in it by such beliefs and the rich ether of the mountain, it would have been as shocking had the Kisaru not become a Tsukumogami, even were it once wholly mundane. But regardless of whether Gorai was blessed to have spent his final days in the company of his beloved collection, or cursed to have suffered the grave consequences, I doubt the pipe alone was the arbiter of his fate. Though I had what many would consider an unfortunate childhood, I never thought myself the victim of ill fate. On the contrary, I believe in acute mercantile sensibilities to be the product of early hardships. Instructive steps along a journey that, of all things considered, hasn't been half bad. I might have said otherwise at the time, had I stopped to weigh my happiness against my unhappiness, but instead I kept moving, and 'tis well that I did. Whether we speak of tangible or intangible fortunes, it matters not what we have, but what we make of it. Nothing worth hearing right now. Oh, does that mean you're putting together a carefully crafted account of exciting exploits to regale me with later? I can hardly wait to hear it. For all he calls me his tormentor, Osmond and I do work well together. My herbal portals soothe his book-weary eyes, and I benefit from his nigh encyclopedic knowledge on, well, damn near everything. It's a symbiotic relationship. I have a special range of goods on offer for odd-job contributors. The historic artifacts you would like to find are of far more interest to us than ordinary gil. Yeah, that looks good. Let's repair all these. Boop. Right, I think that's about everything. Oh, let's have a look at this emote that we just picked up. Reference, there we go. So it's a temporary emote. Let's just play the log message, see what it says. You consult literature. Let's see. You consult literature for the literature one. And that's pretty much everything now. I believe I will briefly check Kugani just in case anything is there. But I don't think there is. I don't think there's going to be. What's that? Wanderer Minstrel. What do you have to talk about, Wanderer Minstrel? Ah, something heroic this way comes. How fare you, Elita? As ever, I am seeking inspiration to draw upon for my work. If you have any new experiences to share, I should very much like to hear them. Alexander, you say? A clockwork citadel that did rise from the Thalak to loom boldly above verdant Draconia. Intriguing, most intriguing indeed. Forgive me, friend. I just felt a flicker of recollection, a sense that I had come across a similar sight from my own travels of far-flung worlds. A mighty colossus of metal, housed in the innermost chambers of a tower that shone with blinding light. But this is your story, do tell it. A most stirring tale indeed. I thank you for gracing mine ears with it. The Thalak indeed. Why, to the people of Kugani these lands you speak of are so remote as to seem veritably on the edge of the world, the boundary of time and space. That said, curiously enough, there is much in your tale that they might find familiar. Why, did you know there are a tribe of the Zela, or perhaps more accurate should I say there was, whose legends told of a god in the form of a great steel giant? Indeed, if I were to gather the most compelling points of your tale, and weave them together with this legend to flesh out a story set closer to home, I dare say my Eastern audience would find it most compelling. Now, how would it go? Untold dreams of men long past breathe life into a god of steel. Untold futures it did forecast, in each the world's fate sealed. Yet in the darkness a glimmer of hope, a hero to answer the call. Yon time and space the steel cold waits, God waits, for the one who shall bring down its downfall. Why yes, that should serve most nicely. Much like the Alexander you did battle with, spread wide wings of time, I too have taken flight on the wings of imagination to spin a tale based upon your exploits in the far reaches of the West, with inspiration taken from the time-honed legends of our friends in the East. It's a tale that begins with two Aroi lovers. A tale that will whisk the listener beyond the boundaries of time itself, where the clockwork deity awaits its final confrontation with the mortal soul in whom it would entrust the future of the world. It's a tale once tragic and triumphant, one that transcends ages, and yet is over in an instant. It's a tale that you will find at once fresh and comfortingly familiar. Will the final judgment rendered by the god in the machine usher in joy or despair? Do stay around for the rousing conclusion, friend. Okay, I've unlocked a T. I see. Oh, there is another duty up here. Okay, we're in. Why have I not seen this one before? Ah, Subeki. It has been years since I paid visit to Kugani. It remains crowded. You don't talk. Compared to colourful clusters of crystalline sugar, a childhood treat for Hinnegans and Domans alike. Ah, Mistress Elita, might I have a moment of your time? Upon learning that the Tsukumugami of the accursed pipe has been slain, Lord Uzumubi dispatched a party of soldiers to survey Mount Rocken. I am pleased to report that they returned without a single casualty. My lord and his soldiers learned much from their survey of the temple, and I thought it prudent to share these findings with Master Hancock. 'Twas my expectation that he would be pleased, but his reaction was rather difficult for me to assess. He also requested that I notify him the moment you arrive. If you would kindly make your way to Rakusui Gardens, I can send word for him to meet you there. Once your conversation is concluded, pray seek me out here. 'Tis not much, I'm afraid, but I've prepared a reward for your service. I shall inform Master Hancock of your arrival. You need only make for Rakusui Gardens. Advarian Consulting. Do 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 do. Apologies for the sudden summons. You will have heard from Mistress Subeki that Lord Uzumibi's men returned safely, their expedition a rousing success, but it is the implications of their findings that I wish to discuss. Shall we sit? I couldn't possibly allow this perfectly good bench to go to waste. During their survey of the temple, the soldiers recovered a curious journal. Upon closer inspection, they realized that it belonged to Gorai, who had documented nearly half of his life in meticulous detail. Born into an impoverished family, young Gorai was cast aside by his parents, and he spent his youth as a beggar, struggling to survive on his own until the monks of Shoju Temple welcomed him into their brotherhood. 'Twas these formative hardships that fueled his fixation on wealth as an adult. The security and comfort of these valuable objects promised that which had long been denied. I cannot help but sympathize, for the story is, in many respects, a mirror to my own. 'Tis a terrible curse, poverty, one I would not wish upon my worst enemy. In my youth I eked out a living in the back streets of Oda, until Chairman Laurelito took me under his wing. Thus did I begin to build my fortune, that I need never need know again penury's shame. In like spirit, Gorai amassed a veritable mountain of treasures, among them in his most beloved pipe. It was unique. He wrote in its power to grant its owner both the most blessed of fortunes and the most calamitous of fates. Perhaps when he first held it in his hands, it was indeed a blessing, unlike any he had ever known. Alas, his fate speaks for itself. Might I suggest you part ways with the pipe that may have been his downfall? Ever the sensible one. Gorai and I may both have a tragic childhood, but I assure you, I have not let mine define me. If needs must, I am more than capable of writing off poor investments. "'Tis not often I allow myself to speak of personal matters, though I suppose if I absolutely must confide in another, it may as well be the Warrior of Light. Of the many lessons Chairman Laurito has taught me over the years, there is one tenet that towers above them all. The value of a gil is what you make of it. If you invest 100 gil, you may come to possess 200, or even 200,000. But if hoarded in perpetuality or squandered on ephemeral pleasures, your coin purse may as well be empty. Too many grow consumed by the pursuit of wealth for the sake of it, forgetting that it is merely a means to an end. Wealth without purpose makes poor men of all of us. Consider our much humbled pipe. As an end in itself, it was the source of much misfortune, yet as a story it may yet serve a nobler purpose. My humble ambition is to share such treasures with the world, that all might reflect upon their histories. Can you use the hammer on me one more time, please? This star has so many stories to tell, stories of myriad peoples and cultures. If my exhibits inspire others to seek out and learn them, as the ukiyo-e print in the chairman's offices once inspired me, there would be no greater joy. Cultural and financial exchange can thus see us all enriched. Arts and artisans across the star will be driven to create, and their works treated as the cultural treasures they are for generations to come. Imagine. If ever the opportunity arises to petition your aid in this grand dream of mine once more, I should be glad for your assistance. Until then, my friend, I wish you well. bonus little quests. There you are, Mistress Elita. By your demeanour, I gather all is well with Master Hancock. I am pleased to hear it. I had feared that my most recent report had upset him in some way, but I am really relieved to know it is not the case. Allow me to express my gratitude once more on behalf of Lord Uzumnibi. We are most glad to count you and Master Hancock among our allies, and your service to our people shall not soon be forgotten. As I previously mentioned, I have prepared a small gift, as thanks for your aid. These confections are famous in Kugani, and beloved by children and adults alike. Thank you. I must of course express my gratitude to Master Hancock as well, so permit me to take my leave of you. Should we meet again, I pray it be under more auspicious circumstances. Safe journeys, my friend, and may the Kami keep you. A tale of two orphans. Let's play new quests. Doesn't look like there's any quests here. What is that other quest? I love a few quests. Okay, so there's a few quests that I have yet to uncover. I thought I'd done practically everything. Okay, I guess next time I play I will be going quest hunting. Until then, fare thee well, love you all, bye bye for now. Mwah! Mwah!